Let's talk about bodies, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Hey, we're talking about bodies. We all have got bodies. You know what we're here for. Hey, I'm Coach Ashley here at the Critical Bench Compound. And yes, we are talking about bodies today. Hopefully you caught my last video. We talked about gym bod versus athletic bod. That one's a little bit harder to discuss. One, because I feel like a lot of the population does fall under that gym bod and they're trying to work towards the athletic bod. And sometimes harsh reality hits us a little bit harsh. With that said, before we get started, I do want to give you guys something for free, because if you are tuning into this video, you probably fall into the category of bodybuilder and athletic, and you already know the importance of one, shakers. How many of these do you have that you might have thrown away? I'm gonna give you one for free, very simple and easy, but I'm also gonna give you a super awesome protein recipe book. There's like a chocolate peanut butter protein thing in here, guys. I'm just saying, like Orange Julius, this thing looks awesome. I am, in fact, Chris, just so you know, you're watching this, I'm taking this one home with me because I want this. All right, with that said, click that link below, grab your free shaker cup, grab your free recipe book, and let's go ahead and talk about bodies. All right, here we go. Athletic body versus bodybuilding body. Now, this is something I would consider myself somewhat of an expert on. One, because I just transitioned from, well, I started gym bod, but that was so long ago. I was scrolling my feed and I was really trying to find some old photos from my gym bod, and it was really hard because I guess, you know, Instagram back in the early 2000s, 2010s you just didn't really post, we posted more memes back then, right? But then suddenly fitness became a trend and everybody's posting their body, so I have tons of bodybuilding posts on here, and it was a lot easier. But back to what I'm talking about, bodybuilder versus athletic. So I started bodybuilder, I was bodybuilder from 2015 to about 2019 is when I actually cut my last prep. I stepped off stage end of 2019. I tried to prep again I stepped off stage at the end of 2018, November, and I tried to prep again in 2019. I pulled the plug on March 2019. A lot of body dysmorphia that goes into that, and we'll talk about that a little bit too. But that's when I pulled the plug on bodybuilding. And then obviously pandemic hit 2020. And then, as you guys know, if you have been with us for a while, I did have a baby. So I had a little postpartum series here. You saw my postpartum body. But as my daughter is approaching 2, I started training when she was 10 months old, so last September. And I've transitioned into more of my goal post bodybuilding was an athletic body, right? So when we talk about bodybuilding bodies, everybody thinks about the lean bodybuilder, right? The muscles are popping, the bicep veins out, you're just lean. They think about the stage ready look. Now, if you're a bodybuilder, you know this to be true. You look at like that probably 5% of the year, right? So bodybuilder body looks great in prep. Bodybuilder body looks, we like to call it fluffy in off season. And a big part of that, and the reason I won't bodybuild again, is that pendulum swing. Your body pendulum swings so far to get so lean, it's only right for the pendulum to swing all the way the opposite end and trying to find that homeostasis balance. So if you can reverse prep out of stage to really good and be super strict, I mean, you're talking about 18 weeks of prep for 5 minutes on stage, and then you get off stage and you're like, what? I have to prep again to like reverse my body out of this. You know what? I feel like bodybuilders these days are better bodybuilders than I was back in the day. And a lot of people back in the day fell in the same categories I did, unless you're a few small percentage that actually followed your reverse. I loosely followed it, but I always pendulum swing right back. To the point, I was looking at a video I had posted back in 2017. And guys, I mean, I don't like using this word, but it is my own body and I'm the only one who can judge my own body. And I would consider that, like my face was puffy, like I was looking at it and I just like, you just see it, like all over my body. And not that there's anything wrong with that. And a lot of people will like to say that you have a body I'd love to have. That's totally fine. You can have that body if that's your goal to work towards, right? So no one's here to tell me that I can or can't say what I want to say about my body. With that said, bodybuilder body's pendulum, all right? And the one main connection between bodybuilder and athletic body is we do prioritize diet still. I mean, in your off season, you have to grow. So in order to grow, you gotta eat to grow. Thus, you have to have an influx of calories too. Not necessarily, bodybuilders don't prioritize cardio in off season. I think that that's a huge part of it. We'll talk about training styles too in comparison of these two, but they're just prioritizing lifting really freaking heavy all the time, every day in the gym, right? So they're just trying to pack on as much muscle as they possibly can, whether they're natural or enhanced, you know, that is their priority, but the amount of muscle that you can pack on obviously is affected by that. to get ready to prep for the next year, and then to cut all the way down to step on stage for 4 quarter turns, and then we say bye. And bodybuilders, as somebody who did do it, I did it for 4 years, it's not the 4 quarter turns on stage you're doing it for. You're doing it for those 18 weeks of grueling mental toughness. And I would say out of every 10 bodybuilders who step on stage, every 10 bodybuilders who prep for a show, maybe 4 step on stage, right? Because it is so incredibly hard to stick to a diet day in and day out. But with that said, I'm gonna go as far as saying that every 10 bodybuilders that do step on stage and step off stage, 7 of them probably pendulum swing right back into that fluffy category post-show. Let's talk about training real fast before we talk about athletic body. So training style, bodybuilder versus athletic. Bodybuilding training style is horizontal training, right? We're going in, we're lifting heavy, we're pushing reps. We're probably going 10 to 12 reps. We're probably going 4 to 5 sets, depending on what your current goal is. But you're going in, you're doing shoulder press, 12 reps, recover. Shoulder press, 12 reps, recover. Shoulder press, 12 reps, recover. And you complete that set, and then you move in to your next set, right? So now you're gonna go front raise, 12, 12, 12, 12. And then you're gonna go lateral raise, 12, 12, 12, upright row, 12, 12, 12, 12. You call it your shoulder day, that's it. That is horizontal training. That is a straight up bodybuilder training style, right? It's just horizontal loading. Now, we'll jump over to athletic real fast. Athletic training is all vertical. All right, so what a vertical training style is I go in and I will do 12 push press, right? I'll recover, and then I'll go maybe 12 upright row, I'll recover, and then I'll probably go do 10 burpees, I'll recover, and then I'll probably go row 10 calories, and then I'm right back up to a push press, right? So I'm training vertically, I'm going from movement to movement to movement versus just one straight horizontal loading pattern. So first and foremost, athletic versus bodybuilding. We already talked about, obviously we focus a lot on bodybuilder right there. We'll swing over into athletic. Obviously training is different. We know that right away. And if you are a bodybuilder and you are looking to transition into an athletic body, athletic bodies are, obviously we can tell physically the difference on the outside, but we'll talk about the inside too. It's training. So your training is entirely different. There are days I still lift. Like I still prioritize lifting legs on Thursdays, right? I still prioritize lifting my upper body when I can. I also carry a 28-pound toddler. I do my front raises with her. I do my shoulder presses with her. So upper body is a little bit harder because I'm already sore from training with her, and I do vertical train 4 days a week. So training patterns are different between athletic and bodybuilder. Now we look at, let's see, we'll just look at the body in general, right? So athletic bodies are lean year round. Like I was saying this to my dad the other day. He's like, you think you'll ever step on stage again? I was like, no, I enjoy my body. Like I enjoy that I can put a bikini on and it's December. I'm not in neck deep in off season and I'm hating my body, and that's that body dysmorphia, right? So when I pulled the plug in 2019, I just didn't think I was ready enough. Like I was gonna step on stage again, national stage, go in front of a pro card in May, and I just didn't feel like my body was responding. I look back at those pictures now and I'm like, okay, yeah, I look good. But again, there's that body dysmorphia. So with that said, it took me a lot of mental training to get out of that restriction process that bodybuilding put me into, that box that it put me into, that if I wanted to get lean, like show, if I wanted to get the results I wanted to get, I needed to wake up in the morning, I needed to do my cardio in the morning, I needed to get my lift, I needed to weigh my protein, I had to weigh my carbs and my fats, and that was the only way to get the goals that I wanted to get. And my postpartum, push present from my husband was actually hiring a coach that you guys have probably seen here on the Critical Bench a few times. I guess I can probably shameless plug him because we do love him. William Grazione, you guys are very familiar with him here. He actually helped me shift that mindset from that box of bodybuilding and that restrictive mindset. And he pushed me into the mindset of, look, eat to perform. Like, it is okay. He would tell me, Ashley, go have a sandwich today for lunch. And I'm like, a sandwich? Guys, all right, so William probably doesn't know this, but I definitely weighed the meat in that sandwich to make sure I still got my protein. But obviously that was back in 2020, 2021, and it helped, it really did. And he shifted my mindset from that diet, that restrictive lifestyle, into eating to perform. So I still eat the same breakfast that I ate when I was a bodybuilder, oats and eggs, to the same amount, the same tea, 5 eggs, 3 whites, 2 whole eggs, and I still measure that 1/4 of a cup of oatmeal and that 1 cup of blueberries. That is something I love, but just starting my day with a good solid foundation, I build off of it. There's your differences, guys. Again, you gotta prioritize the protein. Either way, get your free shaker, check out your free recipe book, and Coach Ashley. I'll see you guys next time.